Hello, Professor Scott and classmate. My name is Mikhail Lyons. My web of causation presentation is PTSD in children and teens. The reason I chose this PowerPoint is I am a Marine Corps veteran who has experienced PTSD in the past. The facilities I was at had a children's ward, and I had an opportunity to talk to some of them. And I was always interested in how does PTSD affect children. What is post-traumatic stress, you might ask? Well, it's an anxiety disorder that some people get after seeing or living through a dangerous event. Anyone can get PTSD at any age. To be diagnosed with PTSD, a person must have all of the following for at least 1 month. At least one re-experiencing symptom, at least 3 avoided symptoms, and at least 2 hyperarousal symptoms. The recurring experience symptoms are flashbacks, bad dreams, and frightening thoughts. Avoidance symptoms: staying away from places, events, objects that remind us of the experience. Feeling emotionally numb, feeling strong guilt, depression, or worry, losing interest in activities that was enjoyable in the past, having trouble remembering the dangerous event. Some hyperarousal symptoms are being easily startled, feeling tense or on edge, having difficulty sleeping, or having angry outbursts. The prevalence of PTSD in the general population. I have some general stats. 70% of adults in the U.S. have experienced some type of post-traumatic event at least once in their life. That's about 223.4 million people. It's an estimate that 8% of Americans, that's 24.4 million people, have PTSD at any given time. It is estimated that 1 out of 10 women develop PTSD. Women are about twice likely as men to get PTSD. Another interesting fact is there's a somewhat higher rate of, of this disorder in African Americans, Hispanics, and Native Americans compared to Caucasians here in the U.S. The prevalence of PTSD in children are 15 to 43% of girls and 14 to 43% of boys who experience a traumatic event. As many as 30 to 60% of children who have survived specific disasters have PTSD. More than 33% of youth exposed to community violence will experience PTSD. In some various populations, you see here on the graph that abused children rate the highest percentage of all the population, including veterans. Here, my literature review covers the determinants. Sexually abused children experience more than just one health problem, such as PTSD. A variety of problems: behavioral problems, sexual behavior, poor self-esteem, all leading to chronic PTSD. Trauma is another factor for PTSD in children. A traumatic event can be overwhelming to a child, making them feel hopeless, as if the world and everything in it is against them. Neglect is another type of abuse, and it's defined as a type of maltreatment that refers to the failure of the parent or caregiver to take care of the child. Neglect is a unique type of trauma because only children, and in some cases dependent adults, are susceptible to, because a person must be reliant on others for their care, physical and emotional well-being. And without this, it makes the child vulnerable to the PTSD. Physical abuse is the most dangerous of the factors that I found, which a lot of children lose their lives because of physical abuse. This study shows that physical abuse is directly linked to PTSD in children and later in adulthood. This study shows that emotional and verbal abuse have direct correlation to PTSD in children. In my web of causation diagram, here are the 5 determinants that I chose that leads to PTSD in children and teens. There are more, but these 5 are the ones that I found to be the most harmful. The social work perspective. In social work, we use theories and strategies. I use this example to show how we would come up with a strategy by using an objective, taking a method, looking for the results, and coming to a conclusion so we can form a strategy to help the child with PTSD, as all children are different. Community-based responses. Most states have their own child abuse treatment program. In Georgia, this falls under defects, but the example that I like to use is from Indiana. It's the ICCF, Indiana Center for Children and Families. This community-based program is committed to child protection, prevention, recovery, and mental wellness through strengthening family health, stability, and functioning. A subgroup of the center is the Victim and Family Program, and is committed to bringing healing and hope to the child victim of trauma and those family members also affected as a secondary victim. In this particular center, they have highly trained therapists that specialize in treating victims with the following: emotional and behavioral symptoms, post-traumatic stress disorder, adjustment problems, attachment issues, and other special needs. And this center is mainly funded by donations. In conclusion, my summary of my presentation, PTSD in children and teens. As I said before, I'm a veteran who has dealt with PTSD in the past and is aware of the symptoms, diagnosis, and treatment as a cure for PTSD. My takeaway is for parents with children to be aware of symptoms that leads to PTSD, have your child diagnosed as early as possible as to prevent chronic PTSD, and seek treatment if necessary. because children are supposed to be loved and nourished and to grow up and be loving and caring adults. This concludes my presentation. Thank you.